about something that I absolutely loathe, and that is paying bills. I absolutely hate it. But thank you, because you're going to save me from myself.
Well, I hope that you're not defaulting on your car loan anytime soon. But this is a situation a lot of people are facing. And any personal finance stuff, I feel like is really kind of top story, lead story these days because so many people are affected.
And you have so many iterations of, helping people with bills, with loans, getting their money sorted. So many of those videos are on our WRAL YouTube page. So if you haven't yet done so, like and subscribe to our WRAL YouTube page. It's got a ton of content. You're going to see Keely a bunch, which, who doesn't want to spend time with Keely? So let's, on that note, talk about car loans and car financing. We have so many mounting bills these days, and nothing is getting cheaper, it seems. Everything is getting more expensive, which means our bills are higher. And at some point, it feels like something's going to give.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people out there I know who are watching who are like, how I'm barely staying above water. How can I get this figured out? Is there any way to help me with these bills, particularly with the expensive car loans and car financing payments?
Yeah. And I mean, to your point, how you hate talking about bills and dealing with all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people feel that way. And the reason why I bring that up is because one of the first things you want to do is get a sense of what the problem is. If it's credit cards, how much money do you have that you need to knock down and that you're paying on? And same with car loans. If you feel like you're going to be delinquent, go talk to your lender immediately, because that's going to give you way more options than if you're trying to push it off, and all of a sudden your car is at risk of being repossessed. So my first kind of bullet point of actionable advice on this front would be to assess the problem, get a really clear picture of what's going on, and then bring that to your lender, and you can create a dialogue with them.
So what I'm hearing as I internalize this is check my pride. Leave my pride at the door. Don't feel shame.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with a financial situation, these companies are kind of prepared for your phone call. There will hopefully be some options, but the very least you can do is get a clear picture of your financial situation and call them to see if there is anything that they can do for you.
Yes. And remember, you are not alone. I think that there were 3 million car repossessions at the end of last year. That number is only slightly less than where we were at during the 2009 recession.
Wow.
So I always try to remind people too that if you're dealing with a financial issue, millions of other people are dealing with it too. The way that you can differentiate yourself, though, is by, checking your pride, getting a sense of what the problem is, and then going to ask for help. It's frustrating. It's stressful. You don't want to have to do that. We all wish we had all the money in the world. But if that's not the situation for you, ask for help. Check your pride. I love that.
Yeah, don't
Good
suffer.
advice.
Don't suffer in silence. These are the various things that go on in my brain on a regular basis.
Yes.
Not just about money, but just about
in
so many other
general.
things.
Yeah, because then you realize it's not as big of a deal. And this is just one moment in your life where, times are really tough. Budgets are really tight.
Okay. We've talked about loans. That's a lot to do with if you are financing your vehicle. Mm-hmm. What about if you're leasing? Can you get the same kind of flexibility or help if you're leasing your car?
So really quick, if you are going to default on a loan or you're having issues paying for it, go to the lender, ask them for an extension. They can give you 10 to 15 more days. So that could be helpful. You could get another paycheck or something like that. You can also refinance, and that way you're going to maybe have a longer term, but smaller monthly payments. You can also, some lenders will, if you have good credit, will give you the opportunity to not pay for a month, and then that will be tacked on to the end of your loan term, but then you won't have to deal with the car payment there. So that's if you're an owner and you're paying on that loan. If you have a lease, leases are a little trickier because you're kind of stuck with that, but there are companies now, there's one website called Swap a Lease, where basically people can take on somebody else's lease. So if I can't pay that lease monthly, I can go onto that marketplace essentially and find somebody that is willing to take that on who wants to lease the car. But you have to involve your lender. You have to make sure with the terms of the lender are okay, and they're okay with you doing that. And honestly, before I started working on this story, I didn't even know that was a possibility, but there are those contingency plans out there.
I know you are also always watching for caveats or, just a catch here and there. Is there anything that we should be mindful of if there is, if somebody's watching who has this situation and they're going to activate on your suggestions, is there anything that they should be mindful of?
If you are having a hard time paying on your loan and you want to refinance and it's going to extend the length of your the length of the loan, and you're going to end up paying more in interest. So just watch out for that. So it may seem lower, but it may extend the length of time at which you have to keep paying. So know that that's an issue with the interest. And then also you might run into a problem where you're paying more on your car than in what it's even worth. And that's really dangerous when it comes to reselling the car, or if you're in an accident and insurance it won't really necessarily kick in as much if the car's not worth anything. So be careful in that regard. Just know that those are things that can happen.
I know this sounds super obvious, but I have, been on the phone with various people who I'm getting into a contract with, and I have received a verbal agreement, but then I go to retell what I just agreed to my husband or to somebody, and what I say is not
what's in the contract.
Yeah, is not what's actually in writing. So we, that to me says you got to get whatever you're talking about over the phone in writing.
In writing, and take notes while you're writing. I know we have apps to take notes, and typed out notes for you. And that's a good piece of advice too, is always, read your contract. I say that, and this might sound really crazy, but attorneys have said this to me. You can put your contract in ChatGPT or another AI tool and ask it questions. What's my term limit? Is there anything weird that's not normal in a contract? Stuff like that, it will just... It's a lot easier to learn your contract by doing that than just sitting there and reading it through. And then you can, if you're questioning something that ChatGPT is saying to you, you can say cite the actual, part of the contract that is saying that, so you can read the verbatim.
All right. Okay, so check your pride, get a clear picture of your situation, contact your lender, see what they can offer you. Get it in writing. Make sure you know about the term and what kind of extension it's going to be and how much more you'll wind up paying in interest. Get a better sense of that, and then maybe you will be better for it on the other side.
Yeah. And know that a lot of people are dealing with this, and this is really a canary in the coal mine. We're seeing a lot of subprime lender or borrowers. Those are folks with lower credit having this issue. We're also starting to see a lot of people with good credit. And what that indicates is that everybody's having a hard time. So it's not a good thing, but people are not alone in this.
Yeah, exactly. Keely, thank you. As always, 5 on Your Side is there for us. And so many more pieces of advice are on our WRAL YouTube page. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks, Keely.